spirits howl, zombies stalk, and madmen prowl. Monsters lurk, and victims shiver. Thrills and chills they will deliver. Arise from your graves and get in the mood. It's time to join the Spooky Dudes.
What's up, my dudes? Hello, we're back. Spooky Dudes Live. It's me, Corey Spooky, and I'm joined tonight with this guy. Look at this guy. This is Tyler Payne, aka SycoPsilico. How's it going, man?
It's going pretty good, man. I'm happy to be here.
I'm stoked to have you here too. I was telling my wife before I came up here to go live with you. I was like, I told him at the con, he was wearing that mask. He came out and he was a nice guy, shook hands, met him. They went and put his mask on, came back out. And I was like, I'm having trouble looking you in the eye right now. I'm getting used to it.
I think this one's a little easier, right?
It's a little friendlier, I think. Yeah, a little
Perfect.
bit. Well, so Tyler is I'm going to call him a filmmaker. He's really doing a lot of content on TikTok, very interesting content, especially if you're into, I would say, really gory. What's the word I'm looking for? Trippy. I don't know, practical effect horror stuff. If you're complaining that everything's digital effects now, you're wrong. Sorry.
I like to play with both. I'm good at both.
Yeah. Well, and it's got, like, as you guys can see, I mean, the setup here behind him, this you have an aesthetic you've developed, and I think it's really interesting.
I appreciate that. Thank you. It's well, if you look at the spelling of SycoPsilico, the silico is very special for special things. So it needs to have that trippy element in there, you know?
Help me out. What what does it
Psilocybin.
mean? Oh, like mushrooms? Like the
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I gotcha. Okay.
So when I filmed my movie, I'd spent 8 days filming, but back to back.
Mhm.
But every day that we filmed, I would actually microdose a little bit of psilocybin before I would actually perform and film and do all the stuff. So it's a very important part to this project. They go hand in hand.
Nice. Okay. Well, how do you find that affects your creativity? I have never imbibed, so I'm
So
really curious.
it allows me to let go of any constraints that I would put on myself. It allows me to be like, okay, well, let's not take ourselves too seriously. Let's get a little goofy with it. Let's have fun with it. Let's experiment. If this works, it works. If it don't, it don't. We'll figure it out. So it kind of gives me that form of release and let go and just trusting the process, which is difficult to do.
Sure. I could see that. And that's the thing too, like watching some of these kind of gnarly things happen, I mean, it is a movie, but watching these sort of gnarly things happen is dark, right? And so you're giving it this pop of color and this sort of kind of crazy whimsy about it. I don't know if that's a good way to describe it, but that's kind of how I felt.
Hey, if that's how you feel, that's the perfect word for it then.
Okay. Put it on that's the tagline for the poster. There you go. Well, we talked a little bit before we went live here, but let's talk about the TikTok thing. You said you've been doing that now for like 3 years.
3 years. So I didn't want to do TikTok. Hated TikTok because that's that dancing app. I don't want to. I don't want to be there. That's not for me.
Yeah.
But I had a friend who was really, really into my art, and she was like, "Hey, you have to make a TikTok. They'll love it." And I was like, "No, it's not for me. I'll stick with Instagram." She was like, "No, man, you really got to use this." So I did, and I uploaded some of my stuff that I made in like 2016, like some of my earlier SycoPsilico before it even had the name SycoPsilico. But whenever that was whenever I first started uploading stuff, I hit like 5,000 viewers or 5,000 followers in like a couple of days. And I was
Wow.
like, that's impressive. And then I got banned forever because I posted something a little too far.
Oh, you gotta tell us. This is the horror crowd. So what was going on in the what broke the
So
TikTok's
this
back?
this video, you can actually find it on my YouTube. It was like one of the first ones I ever posted. It's called Facelift. But I think it's like the second one I posted. But throughout that video, I would take sections of it and like trim it up into like 20-second bite-sized bits for TikTok, and I would just elongate how much I could post. So one video gets me about a week of content. So while that's going on, I get to a scene where am I allowed to cuss on this?
Yeah. Yeah.
F-bombs okay?
Sure. We don't want to go too excessive. Apparently Twitch has some new rules, but yeah, you can curse here.
Okay, so now I don't know if I should say this, but I'm gonna do it and hope for the best. But there's a moment where I'm skull fucking one of these severed heads, and I have like knives and stuff stabbed into it. So I pull one of the knives out and hand it to myself. And that scene was the scene I was saving. It was on Thanksgiving. I hit 5,000 followers, and I was like, "We're gonna celebrate." So I posted that one up. Banned instantly. It was like, "Nope, you have way too many strikes. That's it. Your account's gone. No more SycoPsilico." And I was like, "No." I was like, I was doing so good. It was going so well. Why? I'd already had like 10 strikes before for gore though and violence.
Oh.
Yeah.
But it was okay with YouTube. I mean, YouTube's had some YouTube's kind of quality control has been all over the map, but you know, I'm a little I guess TikTok was just really watching these things, or people reported it.
I definitely got reported. During that time in 2020, I had some people who didn't really like the things I was doing, and they would troll it in their own ways with a lot of reporting. Now that's kind of like gone on its own self. It doesn't matter anymore. I read those guidelines. I could be a lawyer. That's how much I read the rules and regulations for TikTok. Yeah, I read all that before I sign any agreement there. I make sure I know, because that's how I toe the line with my content. Like, how close can I really get it? The video I sent you though, the beheading one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm surprised that isn't like age restricted yet, or like has like a graphic content warning on it. I'm glad that it's actually still up there. To my knowledge, it is.
Well,
because I was like, ooh.
When I clicked when I clicked on it, it said, gore or whatever it says. Watch it anyway. It said that.
Oh, it did give you that?
Yeah.
It doesn't show me that. Usually it shows me and has like a little eyeball across through it. But I put my own trigger warning in the beginning of it so people would be like, all right, I know that this might be too much. Because those are the people that'll report you.
That's one thing I've noticed, like especially TikTok, Instagram, I mean, whatever, just newer social media stuff. I have noticed like cosplayers, when they do like something from Silent Hill or something with anything with like fake blood, they have to post fake blood, fake weapons, like, are people really that? I guess a lot of people are handing their kids phones and just being like, go to town.
That too. Something. I think a lot of it is also AI. Like, it's just trying to read stuff on the camera, and if it reads like a violent weapon of some kind and it sees blood with it, it's going to say, oh, automatically that's gore. Can't show it. But I don't know, because there's a few things. I know for sure that it definitely has it for like, it transcripts like everything we're saying. So if you say any like foul word in any kind of play, that's why I was checking for the F-bomb. But it'll just nix your life right there. Gone. Done. No more streaming.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm very, very new to that world. I've had a TikTok account for probably 2+ years, and I've just started using it like literally this year, just cutting up pieces of this. Like I'll take like a 60-second clip of us talking at some point, not this moment, but another moment I think is kind of profound or really interesting, and I'll put it on my TikTok, and it gets a bunch of views, like way more than the full length YouTube videos. So it's really the way people consume content is in you said it earlier, micro doses, right?
Yeah.
Like nobody, I mean, there are people that will watch a 2-hour video on YouTube, but it's like a majority of the younger people, especially, I think you're not going to get through to them just slapping 2-hour, well-made, great videos out on YouTube. You're going to have to find them, funnel them from TikTok or Instagram to, the full length stuff. That's what I've been trying. It's helped a bit, but
Oh, they're
it's
not going to want to leave the app is the problem.
that, yeah.
So what I like to do is take the full length video and just do it in parts, back to back to back to back to back. And that way it'll, like, day one, post 2 parts, day 2, post 2 parts until it's all posted. Depends on how long the video is, because I'll try to milk that for as long as I can.
Interesting. Okay, you're giving me more ideas. I'm gonna have to try. I'm gonna try some more TikTok tricks here. I can't do what you do, man. You gotta you like you said, you're an artist. So I'm merely a horror fan that can talk.
Well,
But
cool thing is, I'm gonna bring you. You can come over to my live show one night, and where you'll be co-host. A bunch of my followers will see you and see the horror stuff that you do, and
oh,
then could eventually come over to your way. So that's another way that you can bring people over.
interesting. See, this is how little I know about it. I don't want to make this whole episode about just TikTok, but more like your work. But I'm interested because you said earlier a friend of yours approached you about your art. So you were making what were you doing before TikTok? Just making the same type of videos, but for a different medium, or what was the art? The masks and
So
things?
I dabble in a little bit of everything. I used to play in music, and I was a front man, a vocalist. Not a good one, but I did it. I put on a good show. That's what mattered. But
It's a big part
I
of it.
did that in high school. And then after that, I was like, okay, I'm tired of that. So me and my friends in high school, early college, would film and play with their cameras and stuff. Well, we did a sketch comedy show there for a bit, and I was learning After Effects and I was learning how to edit. So they just let me go full bore, do whatever you want. Here's the footage. I'd act in it with them some too, and it was just a fun time. I was just playing with it.
Sure.
Then I started wanting to do more serious videos, but all at the same time, I'm going to college to be a video game designer. So that's where I wanted to be. That was my main passion, but I had a lot of fun with the cinematography. But I wanted to start doing more serious bits, more violent bits. I wanted to play in more gruesome shots, but kind of make it kind of funny too.
Mhm.
So I did a Quentin Tarantino-esque like cocaine drug deal as a short film, and me and my buddy, we popped this dude in the stomach. Blood just poured. We had like a 1 gallon like thing of blood and just pumped it all the way through him. So it's just pouring out. It was ridiculous, over the top, but it was fun. And that was like my first like real dabble with gore in a video. And I was like, okay, I really want to do more of that. That was a good time. So then after that, my friends that helped me make that short film, they were like, okay, you should do a series now. And they talked me into investing into a Panasonic GH4, and I got a gimbal, a stabilizer, and that set me back quite a bit. But I was like, well, I am going to minor in video effects with my game design degree. So I was doing
Yeah.
all that, and then I just put the camera away for a bit. It was too hard to get people on board. It was too hard to get a cast, a crew. And I was like, all right, this is too much of a headache. So I focused on college and the video game stuff. And that's where I tried to go into it. And then I got a job in a AAA game studio. And then I was like, okay, this is cool. I want to go back to making films now. I want to go back to that. That was fun.
Wow. So you had a job as a game designer and you left it?
I did. I saved up as many paychecks as I could. It was a contract gig and
Mhm.
things like that. But they said, if we bring you on full time, you won't be able to do both. You have to pick one or the other. And I was like, oh, well, I already have my cast, my crew, everything for this movie that I've been preparing for a year and saving up for. I'm gonna have to deny the the request and just go on and make this movie.
Wow. Hey,
No
follow.
benefits.
Wow. Now that part to me is scary, you know.
I let go of all the benefits that job had, everything, the comfort. It's all gone. I threw it away. Just didn't throw it away. I traded it. I traded it away.
Right. I mean, look, as I age, I have learned a couple of things. Okay. One of those is, you know, that, I mean, money, we need money, right? To do things, to live, to eat, to have a house and stuff like that. We need money. But at some point, your time becomes more valuable. And you can't get more of the time. You can find ways to make more money. You can go deliver pizzas all day if you want, but you can't get more time. You only get as much time as you get. That's it. So
You want me to tell you what my main what?
I'm with you, man. I follow your passion as much as you
The,
can.
the main catalyst for this, though, was when the Ukraine war first kicked up. I was like, okay, well, you know, this could break out into a nuclear conflict at any time. Do I really want to just be working on someone else's dream and someone else's like passion? Or would I rather, you know, spend the next few questionable years doing what I want to do? Because we can literally be vaporized today, just right now. You don't know. You never know.
You got a point. I mean, yeah. It's like when I hear people talking about like these doomsday scenarios, like, I'm saving all my money and I'm going to buy gold and I'm going to hoard the gold in my basement and stuff. I'm like, dude, if it comes down to it where the dollar is worth nothing, that gold ain't worth anything either. You're gonna have people stabbing each other in the streets for toilet paper and chicken legs. It's not gonna matter how much money you have.
Yeah.
So,
I think
man,
right now, like food and like that kind of storage, like that would be a good investment. But
yeah.
what are you going to do with gold? What can you do with it other than it's shiny and pretty? What do you do with it?
Sit on top of it and die.
Pretty much. I mean, we don't know how to mend it into computers and like microchips. Someone does. We don't.
Right.
So it's worthless to me.
Man,
But
it is crazy where these interviews can go. I love
it
it.
is, isn't it? The point is, go have fun. Go have fun before you can't anymore. That's my mindset. That's why I made a movie.
I love that. I love it. And the movie that I watched is Silico Solutions, which was your submission for the Franken Film Festival, the second annual Franken Film Fest. Still hard to say it. And
congratulations on the second annual.
Thank you. Well, the third one, details to come soon, everybody. I have a feeling that the person watching right now actually knows the dates already. I think that's my buddy James. Hi James. But yeah, it's took home the award for goriest film, which, did you receive that yet?
I have not. I wished I did. I would have had it showing it.
Very soon.
Okay,
My business
perfect.
partner should be sending that out. He made it this weekend.
I'm wanting to put it up on my set somewhere so it's in the background when I go live.
I love it. But yeah, it was very gory. It was fun. It was, I mean, when I showed it, so I showed it to my sister and my buddy when we were on a cabin trip, and like we watched all the films, you know, back to back. And when I got down to it, I was like, how would you guys vote for these? Goriest, they both were just like, that last one. And that was yours, right? Because you were the last submission. They're like, no doubt. And so everybody
Yes.
who watched it, yours was the only unanimous vote. Well, no, there were two unanimous votes. Yours was unanimous for goriest, and the John Devlin's movie, Erecting a Monster 2, was the trashiest. So
I got to say something about it because I love that one so much. I loved how long that lesbian scene lasted.
John's a special cat.
Oh, dude, I loved it because you know it made people uncomfortable sitting in there, like they're watching it and they're like, oh shit, I don't know how to react, I don't know how to respond to that. You know, it made people uncomfortable, and that's why I loved it so much.
They're fine watching it at home by themselves. They're like, oh yeah, and then all of a sudden it's a room with like 50 people. You're like,
right?
I love it. Well, Tyler, I'm really enjoying the content on TikTok and I started following you on Instagram today. I don't know how we haven't bumped into each other before, but I'm glad you reached out about the film fest. That was serendipitous. So
Found out about it literally last minute, and I was like, please let me in. I just finished my feature length film. I need the exposure. So I was
oh,
glad that you let me come in.
I was too, man. I think everybody was. Okay, so the way I normally do this, so this is about the point where I would end the interview, and then I have these questions I ask everybody, and I get different responses from different people, different walks of life, and stuff like that. So it's always interesting to hear those responses. Are you ready for those questions?
Yeah, let's go for it. Those sound fun.
Okay, the first one, and some of these we talked a little before the show. Tyler's not a huge movie guy. He's not the biggest movie nerd that you guys are going to bump into, but we'll just see what his answers are anyway. And it's not trivia, by the way. There's no trivia in this.
Thank God. I was about to say, if it's
Yeah.
trivia, I'm screwed right now. We're going to have fun with it anyway.
Number one is what got you into horror?
Taking control of fears. When I was really, really, really little, I was traumatized by the video game Resident Evil. Yes, the Jill Sandwich one, the horrible dialogue scarred
It's
me for
awesome.
life.
Yeah.
I was like 4. But so for so long, I was so traumatized and horrified by everything for years. And then, about 8, 9 years old, I'm like, you know what? I'm done with this. I'm done with this. Let's really dive into it. So anything that bothers me, which is dolls, I don't like dolls, and yet here we're wearing a doll's face.
Yeah.
You pretty much take your fear and you kill it and you make it yours.
I love that. That's
That's
awesome.
what got me into horror.
Okay, so what is the first horror film you can remember watching?
Shit, I can't remember the name of it. Help me out with the name of it.
Sure.
My first horror film was at a drive-in. It has Owen Wilson in it. It's about like a bunch of poltergeists in this
The
house.
Haunting.
That's it. That was my
Haunting.
first horror movie. I was so
Yeah.
sad when Owen Wilson got. So
By
sad.
the thing in the fireplace, right? It's like swinging around.
Yeah. I was so
That's
sad about it because he was my favorite one because he was so fun, Why did he have to die? I liked him.
I just read the book that was based on shortly before FrankenCon, The Haunting of Hill House.
Yeah.
Then I'm not a huge fan of that book. I think it was like kind of cutting edge for the time, and I think it's sort of responsible for ghost stories becoming good, is what it appears to be. But it was kind of dry. But the book's way different from that movie. That movie's
Really?
yeah. The movie's way more fun, but the book's way different.
Well, you just talked me out of the book completely.
It's short, but it's dry. My sister loves it. She's a like voracious reader. I'm novice. I'm reading some Stephen King stuff right now, and I'm loving it. But Shirley Jackson. All right.
I hate to admit it. I have to force myself to read. Like if I'm going to read something, I have to sit down and make the time for it.
I use it to fall asleep because it does something different in my brain. If I sit there with the phone and go through TikTok or social media, it just zaps my brain. My eyes just get bigger and bigger. But if I read a book for like 30 minutes, like a Kindle book in bed, I'm out. Better than the sleeping pill.
I'll have to give that a go.
All right. What is a film you okay, this one's hard to read. What's a film you didn't like the first time you watched it, but upon further viewings you actually enjoyed it?
Ooh, that's difficult because I don't really watch many movies twice. More than like after one time, I remember it very well, and I don't really go back to them.
Especially if you didn't like it.
Yeah, but most things I'm so picky that most things I do like. Even if it's like super, I really like super campy stuff. I didn't like super campy stuff until like maybe 10 years ago, but now I'm like campy all the way. Like let's make it ridiculous. Like let's go super 80s with all of it. But I don't think I got an answer for that one because yeah.
That's okay. That's okay. All right. Your favorite subgenre of horror?
Ooh, uncanny. The uncanny valley section of horror.
Okay. I've used that term for certain things before, but what help me out with that as a subgenre? Kind of walk me
So
through that.
like things with dolls. I'm actually not a Chucky fan though, but um like the creepy stuff with like dolls and things like that, and I really like that genre. But
Hmm.
now that I'm thinking about it, it's not my favorite because I'm more about the gore and the cinematic and the prettiness of how visceral something could be. So it's probably going to go with gore now. I'm going gore.
Okay. So like, have you seen like August Underground, Guinea Pig? Trying to think of like these would be more like extreme, um, basically found footage. So like stuff where it looks like the serial killer has the camera and they're just killing people. You know, they're
Yeah,
the closest thing to like snuff films, but they're not obviously. They're like legit filmmakers.
yeah. I
But
haven't
that
watched many of those.
you might be into it. I don't know.
I'll
It's not
check
for
it out.
me. It's not for me. But there's no narrative whatsoever. Um, okay, same coin, different side. Least favorite subgenre.
Uh, the I've lost interest in paranormal stuff lately.
Yeah,
I'm not as interested in paranormal anymore. Like it just kind of got old for me, overplayed.
that's that's a pretty common answer. I feel the same way. Like it's either really good and really charming, or it's like
Yeah.
it's a snoozer. Okay, I have a suspicion you're way younger than me, but is there a VHS cover you can remember from the video store?
Is it the one that like freaked me out as a kid forever, or is it one that is not behind the beaded curtain?
Uh, whatever. When I say VHS cover, the first thing that pops in your brain.
Okay, so this comes with a story, and I'll
Okay.
be careful with my word choosing. So I was like probably like 5. We were in our local video store, and this place had like it was really old, like old wood floors, creaky. I mean, this could have been a used in a horror movie itself. But I remember we were checking out, and there was the curtain next to the place, and I was just laying in the floor waiting for us to go. I'm a little kid, just being bored, and I poked
Yeah.
my head in that curtain, and I seen some things in there just completely like splayed open, and I remember thinking like, what in the heck? Whoa! And then I pulled my head out, and the lady behind the cash register was watching me look back and peek, and then she just laughed at my expression. So that I think is my most memorable VHS cover. But the one that freaked me out the most in the normal section,
Mhm.
uh, Silence of the Lambs, the face with the butterfly.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, that freaked me out. Faces like I don't know, that freaked me out as a kid. I was like, that's watching me. I don't like it.
Huh.
And
Interesting.
Leprechaun.
Oh, yeah. My wife has a thing with faces. Like we can watch. She's a big true crime fan. I mean, she's a fan of listening and to people talk about and watching the stories about true crime. She's not a fan of crime itself.
I
Anyway,
get you.
and she can hear any of that stuff and be fine. But as soon as you got a face jumping up in the camera going, "Bah," she just loses it. I'm just like,
Not a fan of jump scares at all.
"Ah, ah." Okay. What is, if you have one, what is your favorite type of physical media?
Video games.
The old discs, the old PlayStation CDs, and
Yeah, just pretty much all video games, and like I like the cartridges. I like the feel of cartridges in my hand. There's something about owning the cartridge. The disc is cool, but a cartridge is way better in my opinion.
yeah, you basically couldn't destroy a Nintendo game unless you really, really went after it. So yeah, I'm with you on that.
Yeah.
Do you collect or watch movies on physical media?
I will only collect movies with physical media if like it's one that I feel like I will watch again and I need it, then I'll buy the physical copy of it. I don't prefer to stream unless I'm just trying to like it. Streaming to me is more like renting, but when I really, really like a movie, I have to own the physical copy.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I got way too many physical movies, and now that I'm like trying to watch every indie I can, the stack just keeps growing, but it's a
Good
good
luck.
problem to have. It's a good problem to have. All right. We got to get a little controversial. Okay. You okay with that?
Yeah, let's do it.
Oh, before we get controversial, you know what, Tyler? I forgot something. I have a really important question.
Yeah,
Do you like shirts?
love shirts.
T-shirts?
Yeah,
You like horror?
yeah.
So there's a great company called Fright Rags. They are sponsoring this stream. You go to fright-rags.com right now, use code SpookyDudes10 at checkout, and you can get 10% off your order. And they've got stuff from Joe Bob Briggs, Chucky. He mentioned Chucky earlier. The new stuff. Okay. They got new Chucky designs. They've got Back to the Future war games. They've even got some non-horror stuff. They're really blowing it up over there. Munsters, Jaws, Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Did I mention you mentioned Quentin Tarantino earlier?
I
They have
did.
true Rome. You did a Quentin Tarantino cocaine movie, you said.
Yeah.
Yeah. They've got true romance shirts. That's not even a horror film, but they've got the shirts. Go check it out, guys. Fright-rags.com. The code is SpookyDudes10. It's in the ticker at the bottom. Go check them out. Tell them I sent you. They're the sponsor of the show. Thank you, Fright Rags. Okay, now back to the normal questions, and I'll quit shilling. Controversy. Here we go. How do you feel about AI generated art?
So AI is a tool. It's a tool that we can use to create things and make things better and stuff like that. I almost used an AI score for my movie because originally my movie wasn't going to have a score at all, no soundtrack. It was all going to be ASMR focused, and I was going to use like normal sound effects, just like really playing in frequencies to mess with the head.
Yeah.
And but when I did that, it felt empty. So I reached out to Kier Sansberry. I think that's it's her name's Kier on TikTok, but I reached out to her, and she does a lot of AI generated like horror, and like it's like a bunch of like little weird like videos that transition into each other and like goes into different routes. But
Yeah.
I asked her if she'd be willing to generate some music. So me, her, and a company that she works through, we talked about it. And then the more I seen controversy coming up with that, I was like, I don't want this anymore. I don't want to use this in my first movie anymore. So I pulled away from it. And it also wasn't hitting the right sound I wanted. So like it felt weird, but the video's already done. So I wanted something that could feel that mood in that moment. So I reached out to a friend of mine, which is Destiny Stansberry, and he did my entire score for me. It took him like 3 months, but he worked on it very diligently and created an entire original soundtrack and score for this movie. And I'm so glad that I moved away from AI for that. But I think AI is practical in the sense of special effects because I would like, let's say, some lightning or some blood. I can let AI just generate some graphic imagery with a green screen behind it and then just pop those in where I need it.
And it's random. It's not you're not using your eye and going, well, it needs to be here, and then it looks, man-made.
Yeah.
I see that.
Like it would like like you're in like Frankenstein's lab or something and you wanted like give me good old like Tesla coil Frankenstein electricity. You could get it to generate that for you without having to go out and buy a bunch of pre-made effects that you have to just pop in still, but instead you get something that's kind of curated because you was able to make the prompt for it. So that's where I see AI really helping things out with stuff like this. And there's also like locations and shots, and it helps out indie producers like myself. Like if I need a hallway, but I only have a picture of this hallway, but I need it to kind of like have a different angle, I can let AI generate me something else based off of that image that looks like it's in the same building, but in a different section. So even though I don't have access to that place anymore.
Yeah. No, I'm with you, man. And John, I know you're gonna watch this. I don't know if you're watching right now. John, the guy that made the movie you liked so much, he's a big
Yeah,
proponent of AI generated
I've
photos.
seen his images are dope. I like them. I like what he
They
puts in the prompts.
they are, and he's sort of, well, I'd say it's a combination of talking to him and sort of trusting him and talking to other people on the show. You know, I was very much like burn the AI down, and for some applications I am like that, but it's like it's a tool, like you said. If
Yeah,
if you want to use it for good, you're going to use it to make something cool. If you're going to use it for ripping people off, you're going to do that anyway.
yeah.
Whether it's available or not, you're going to rip somebody off, you know.
But no matter what, though, no matter what, AI will never have the soul in it that something like I make, you make, any other human makes. There's soul
Right.
behind it because for me, there was a real risk on the line. Like, I have to make this movie. I left my career that I went to college for to make this movie. Like, I put my entire savings on the line for this movie. So there's some skin in the game now. Like it's a bet. I'm gambling with myself to get this film done and making it at a quality that it needs to be to make sure that I didn't sacrifice all these things for nothing.
Love it. Yeah, no, I agree. It's
AI, you're
there's
not going to get that. You're not going to get that extra push.
no, you might just get an extra finger, a couple of extra fingers. No, I'm with you, man. I mean, there's always gonna be something that's special about human hand to canvas or you know, holding the camera. You know, it's not going anywhere.
No, it won't be replaced. It can't be replaced. So we just got to let this pass and see where it goes.
Sure, Skynet. No,
Uh,
all right. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, two more controversial questions.
Perfect.
This one. Okay, so cancel culture. What are your thoughts on canceling a movie because of the behavior of those who made it?
I don't like that at all. I'm totally against cancel culture. We're humans. We're humans. We're gonna screw up. We have desires that are, not the best. But and sometimes we slip. Sometimes we fight it, and we do well at fighting our urges. And then sometimes you go for it, and it bites you in the ass later. So we're only human. The people who, let's say, some of the people who get hit with cancel culture, like I don't know, the Flash guy. Like I know there's something going on with him and things like
Ezra
that.
Miller. Yeah.
He's under tremendous stress. He has to be. So he might have something going on that needs a little bit of extra help and motivation towards. He messed up. I don't know the details of it. I don't keep up with it, but I just know he messed up. But he's human. Everyone's human. But some things
Right.
are unforgivable. Some things
I'm
are unforgivable.
I'm with you. Yeah. And on that topic, we've got our first comment of the stream tonight. Brandon Posey, who you can also find selling tickets at the front of FrankenCon each year, says Skynet has become self-aware. Cancel the culture. Very insightful, Brandon. Thank you so much. He also said, was this the guy with the weird mask from the con made that movie about the model agency / slaughterhouse? That is him.
Hello, friend.
See?
That is me. Yes. Hold on. I have Carol with me. Let me get her and bring her over. So here is Carol, right here with us.
So creepy. Yes.
Yeah.
Hey, man, regardless of if anybody liked it or not, it is memorable.
Do what?
The movie is memorable, whether people liked it or not. And I think people liked it.
Oh, yeah. I got a lot of positivity out of it. But when people don't like it, I also like that too, because I'm getting something out of you. Like I'm still pulling some kind of emotion out of you, and that's my goal at the end of the day.
Right on. Well, look, if you're going to show it at a place, a horror con is a really good spot. You're among friends, fellow freaks. So that's the place to do it.
It feels safe there.
It
I'm
is. It
actually going to
is.
host my own event when, like, this September. I'm going to go get a theater, and I'm just going to play the full movie, premiere it locally for my hometown, and
Cool.
let them check it out.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I
Go
figured.
ahead. Go ahead and throw the details of that out. And do you have the date and everything set up yet?
Yeah, dude. I don't have it completely in stone yet. It's
Oh,
still in the early stages. I just got to sign the contract and give them the money. But
yeah. Okay.
September 29th, Norton, Virginia, is where I'm gonna play this at this nice little theater. It's right connected to 93.5's radio station. I talked to them. It's an old hometown of mine, so I like to go back and visit frequently. And
Cool.
I spoke to them about it, and I went on the other guy's podcast, which is Ryan Parker's. He had a submission at the show as well. Um, I forget the name of his movie, but he was at FrankenCon as well, and I did his podcast, and after that he showed me the theater, and he was like, "We can probably make this happen if you really want to go for it." So we're gonna do. I was like, "Well, let's do a test run with my movie, and we'll do a little premiere at this venue, and I'll rent it from you guys." And then once we do that, we'll do a film festival following and try to get the community in this area to do some short films to, host.
I can't remember which one that was either. You said that, and I'm trying which one was that?
Yeah, the name I've seen. I can't remember names to save my life. I'm really bad with names,
Uh,
people, movies.
I'm sure it was lovely because all the movies were lovely. All right. We have one more controversial question, then it's back to the softballs.
Good deal.
What are your thoughts on bootlegging out of print titles?
If it's out of print, no one's making money off of it anyway. Keep the project alive. Keep spirit in it. Keep it rotating. There's something going on like this in the video game industry too, with emulation and games. You know, games that were made before 2010 are very hard to find now, and
Right.
it's difficult to get them. So emulation is what that fell to. So in the sense of no one's making money off of it anymore, it's not in print. I would hope to God that someone kept my movie alive and that it was still flying around in the world even after years and years.
Yeah, it's better that than having a lost film. Like just the lost films we know about there's a ton. So the lost films we don't know about, it's got to be even more,
Right?
Like how cool would it be to watch London After Midnight with Lon Chaney? Like that, no one my age is seeing that movie. It's unless it's in some weird lizard people cabal vault under the earth. I doubt it. I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but I would rather people. I'm like I don't want somebody bootlegging your stuff or like bootlegging, like the newest movie from A24. But
Yeah.
like if it's some movie that's out of print, it's just sitting in a vault somewhere, and somebody on eBay is charging $200 for a DVD. I would rather you pay $10 at a flea market.
Yeah. I agree. I think that's the right sentiment to have on that.
But specifically without a print, I don't. All right. Back to the softballs. Here's the happy questions. Favorite costume, mask, or prop from a horror film?
Can it be my own?
It can, sure.
It's definitely my own at this point, but if it's not my own, it's American Psycho, the raincoat, like Hey Paul scene when he gets axed in the head. Because God, I fucking love that moment.
It's really
So good.
good.
I did
Is
that for
that
a costume contest one time.
Okay, I could see that. Is that it? Is that one of the like inspirations for the stuff you're making now, or what? What where you pulling the inspiration from? What do you think? Where do you
So
think it comes from?
inspiration comes from a lot of different avenues, like old YouTube horror, like Shay St. John. Um, I pulled like a lot of the style and weird, uncanny from that because I was like, yeah, no, I like how weird that made me feel. I want to do my version of that. Like I want to do, I want to feel something that made me feel that way. I want to make other people feel that way. But Shay St. John wasn't gory, but I love gore. So,
Right.
I went more down instead of the weird route. I went more of the horror route, and so there's some inspiration. And American Psycho and Patrick Bateman actually inspires the character I'm currently dressed up as, which is Izzy. So there's some Patrick Bateman in there, like that kind of pushed forward there. Um, so there's a lot of video game inspirations too, like Zelda Majora's Mask is a huge inspiration for me for this.
Zelda's awesome, dude.
It's one of my favorites. Is my favorite.
I love it. Okay. Name 3 films you think every horror fan should see.
American Psycho for sure. Um, I really love Shaun of the Dead. That's another big
Yeah,
movie for me.
that's
Shaun of the
great.
Dead is definitely one I feel like everybody should watch. Horror fans or not. Um, hmm.
It's a great
Trying to
romantic
think.
comedy.
Do what?
It's a great romantic comedy. It's a great everything.
Yeah, no, Shaun of the Dead is fantastic with it. And as for the third one, like I'm drawing blanks. I'm wanting to go with something more violent, like The Thing. I feel like The Thing is an important one, like the original Thing.
The the not the John Carpenter one. The talking about the thing from another world, the black and white one.
No. The one with Snake Plissken in it.
Yeah, okay, the John Carpenter one. So it's
Yeah,
like a
because
it's a remake of the thing from another world, but it's so different. It's night and day. Like,
I didn't know that the other one existed.
yeah, yeah. It's I just knowing what I know about you, I don't think you'd like the original. I think, but the remake, the Carpenter one was people pooped all over that movie when it came out, dude. It's a
Really?
masterpiece. Yeah, people hated it.
Oh no, it's I think it's so cool though. The
It was a commercial
flamethrower.
flop at the time. Like when it was released, it was a flop, which is insane.
It aged like wine then. Like it aged really great.
Oh, yeah. It did the glow up, as the kids say, for
Yeah.
sure. All right. 2 movies that you watch during the Halloween season to get you in a spooky mood.
Shaun of the Dead and American Psycho.
Okay. There we go. See, these are easy.
These are super easy.
Your favorite underappreciated horror film that you think more people should see.
Willy's Wonderland with Nicolas Cage.
I like it a lot.
That was so cool of a movie. I ate a big edible beforehand, and I was just like, "Oh shit!" as I was watching that. It was a blast for me. Loved it.
I'm loving this sort of like Nick Cage renaissance we're going through right now, like starting with like Mandy. And
I
then
need to watch that. It's on my watch list. I got to watch it soon.
it's I think you'll really like it. Did you watch Color Out of Space?
No, I did not.
It's great too. And then Pig, which Pig is not a horror movie, but I think it was like the finest thing Nick Cage has ever done in his life. Like Pig is a masterpiece from start to finish. I love that movie.
That's his favorite movie that he's ever worked on, I believe.
Pig.
Yeah, I think he said in an interview one time that that was his favorite thing he's ever worked on. Like that's his main one.
He's amazing in it. He's not, this whole like comic booky internet making faces, Nick Cage, like that they ask him to do sometimes.
Yeah.
He's really good. Like, it's a great movie. Really good.
Have to give it a watch.
All right, last one I got here. And that is, what advice would you give to an up and coming artist in the horror genre? So for you, it could be a filmmaker or someone making TikToks or someone making masks or whatever you want to do. Go give that advice. Pretend I'm that person.
It doesn't matter what you do. Quit listening to your mentor. They're only holding you back. Do what you feel in your heart and do what's best. You've got the skills. Just do it. Quit listening to your mentor.
That's all I needed to hear. Wait, who's my mentor?
Anyone you look up to, anyone that's like helping you along the way, that's like been guiding you and helping you learn the steps. Eventually, you got to throw their thoughts away because they're going to guide you right into the same place they led. Somewhere you got to break off and do your own damn thing.
Right on. I mean, you got to blaze your own trail, right? At some point, you have to do your own thing. Well, that's awesome, Tyler. It's been a blast talking to you, man. I was a little nervous about the mask thing, but no, I'm getting used to it. And you're just a hell of a nice guy. And
thank you, I appreciate it.
Yeah, no, thank you, man. My pleasure. Go ahead and drop some plugs, though. We've had the ticker running, but tell people where to find you on socials and all that good stuff.
So you can find me on TikTok, obviously. That's the big one. Instagram at SycoPsilico, SycoPsilico. And I'm on YouTube too, but I only post the long cuts of things after I've already like dissected the hell out of it. But there's where you can find all the long cut, unlike filtered stuff. Then where else? I have a Twitter. I don't really post on Twitter. I don't really like it, but it's there. That's all my places. That's all my places.
Well, thank you again, Tyler. I look forward to seeing what you come up with in the future. I'm following you on the places you actually post stuff to on a regular. So I'm looking forward to it. And I'm looking forward to your return in May. People, FrankenCon, May.
Man, thank you for having me on, inviting me on, letting me submit my film literally 10 minutes before the deadline clock struck. Oh, God, I was so nervous about that, but I'm so glad that I got through. Thank you for all that. I really appreciate it.
I'm not saying we're the Cannes Film Festival or anything, but dude, always shoot your shot. You know that. You said that. Always shoot your shot. So,
and that's why I sent it 10 minutes before deadline.
It was worth it. It was worth it, man. You did right by us, so I really appreciate it.
Thank you. I actually rendered out that 10-minute bit. After I sent that message and you gave me the green light, I instantly started dissecting the feature length and started putting it into a 10-minute segment to get it ready by that weekend.
That's wonderful. I love it.
I was motivated. I had to get it.
Well, no pressure, but you got to do it again in May. So
I'm excited for it.
All right, Tyler, have a good one. Everybody else out there, take your vitamins, say your prayers, stay spooky, my dudes.